Welcome back to Rural America Live. We've been catching up with our friends from Rob Seco. Let's get back to it and see what all we can expect from the future farm in the upcoming years. So, Rob, we've kind of left you out a little bit here, but we've been talking about AgVisors. It really sounds like a great way to take a systems approach to growers. I'm just wondering, bringing new innovations, enhancing product performance, how are we going to do this going forward?
You know, the 6 future farm locations have been crucial. They've been a cornerstone to our advancement process, both in seed and in streamline. And if you look at what we brought forward as a result of the testing we've done at the future farm locations, we brought new biocapsules for corn rootworm, for soybean cyst nematode, a First Defense product to soybean plant diseases. We brought in products like Convert Kickstart, BioUp, and a lot of new products that are really innovative. And so we're excited about the way Future Farm has been working in terms of helping us identify these new products to advance.
You know, I'm looking there at the Tune-Up Plus capsules. So, Todd, tell us more about those.
You know, we've had such great success with what we affectionately call the pail, the Tune-Up pail, and success, physical success, and actual harvest success. But the cool thing about it is we get those physical advantages and yield advantages across at least 10 different crops, from corn, soybeans, cotton, canola, rice. And I think that's very important to the efficacy and the value behind this product. So with that kind of success, we talk to researchers and manufacturers almost daily of options that they have to put into this, what we call affectionate pail. And so as I think about a couple of things that came out of our future farms in the last year, are several new innovations and several technologies. One would be a different bacteria, what's known as a methylobacteria, in a corn rootworm microbe. And so the corn rootworm microbe works in a couple of ways. So as you imagine my hands being a root system, they colonize on the root. And so they almost create a biofilm. But what they do is they grow synergistically with the root, and it changes the emission off that plant during respiration, during the process whereby the plant reaches back and uses the sugar that it's built all day, and it emits an exudate. Well, what do you think the attraction to corn rootworm is? Well, it's sensory. They have to find it. And, you know, because down where corn rootworm eggs are laid is dark, and they don't have eyes. But so it's sensed, and if you change the exudate, you change the beacon from which they can find their food source. Well, that's number one with this particular bacteria. But number two, this bacteria has the ability to initiate some real hard chemistry plant growth regulators, hormones in the soil. Right? These bacteria are not hormones, but they instigate hormonal activity. Well, what do hormones and auxins do? They help stimulate cell division and cell elongation, even during periods of stress. So they continue to be strong, they continue to bolster. And so we get really good cell generation, we get stress regeneration, we also get great plant health from that. Okay? And then as we think about, Rob mentioned First Defense in soybeans, so it's Tune-Up Plus First Defense. This could be a product that this is hard to say, but it could eliminate seed treatments for fungal properties in a soybean field. So First Defense has a fungicide in it, the chemical compound's known as metalaxyl. Great protection against the #1 soybean fungi in the U.S., which is Pythium. And then number two, it combines a new, what we would call a biofungicide. Now, it's really not a fungicide, it is a bacteria, and this bacteria has an antagonistic effect on fungal diseases. And so the effect is the fact that they disrupt cell formation in these fungi. And so they have a hard time colonizing and have a hard time having an effect, detrimental effect, on the plant. Those are just a couple of things that have come out of our 23 and 24 future farm locations.
Okay, BioUp, PitGuard. You know, as I think about this, Jim, we probably need to get you in. You haven't had a chance to get in yet. BioUp, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so BioUp is a new product that we launched this year, and really it's become a really important product, and I never really appreciated why until this summer. So, I have two little girls, 9 and 7. And in the backyard, we put in a fish pond. And we stocked the pond with some goldfish because thought it'd be fun for the girls. We got really dry in August and into September. So I needed to top off the pond. And to do so, I just pulled the hose over and filled it back up. Lo and behold, later that afternoon and into the next day, I noticed the goldfish were gulping. So they were trying to get more air, and effectively what we learned was what happened. We lost all the goldfish. They all died because they suffocated. And so essentially what happened was I used the hose that was on city water, and in city water, in order to protect the water from harmful pathogens, the city in all municipalities will add chlorine and or a compound called chloramide. And what these do, it kills harmful bacteria and other pathogens that can hurt you, which is a great thing, but it is also harmful to certain types of biology. Goldfish's gills being one of those. It harms the oxygen exchange within the gills. Well, what it also does is it will kill any of the beneficial microbes that we use in our biologicals. And so any farm that is on city water, where they're filling up their sprayer or maybe even their starter program using city water, needs to consider a product like BioUp, because what BioUp does is it neutralizes the chlorine and the chloramide in that water in order to make it safe for those beneficial bacteria, those beneficial microbes, to then be effective on the crop and give us the benefits that we're after.
All right, let's turn back to Jeff. PitGuard. Tell us more about that.
This is an interesting product, and this is really targeted on dairy producers, hog producers, and chicken producers. Anybody that has to manage manure. And we know how problematic that can be in some states, some localities. You've got odor, you've got other things you have to deal with when you have to manage manure. So PitGuard is specifically targeted towards those producers that have that challenge. And really what it does is you're trying to reduce ammonia and you're trying to reduce hydrogen sulfide loss from that manure, which obviously causes odor problems, et cetera. What PitGuard does, and the key benefit to those producers is, one, it decreases solids in the pit. So that's easier for you to pump, and it's easier for you to spread on your fields. Two, it decreases odor. Not only does it decrease the odor of the manure in the pit, but it decreases the odor when it's spread on fields, which we all know that can be sensitive, and I think that's an important application and an important benefit. It improves animal health. Iowa State did a study where the utilization of PitGuard decreased the release of ammonia and hydrogen sulfate by 65%. What that does is you're going to get lower death loss and you're going to get healthier animals because that doesn't exist, or not at the same level. So that's really important. And it can be used in a lot of different situations. So it can be used in any size pit. It can be used over the top of chicken litter, for example. So there's a lot of flexibility with PitGuard. But in the end, what you're doing is you're making a better product for your fields, because you're going to preserve more nutrients in that manure when you use PitGuard than if you don't, because a lot of that is lost through the ammonia and hydrogen sulfide loss.
Great. All right, Todd, let's get you back in here. Biocapsules, they add biology to the dry planter box treatment. Are you looking at options maybe to add biology to the liquids?
Yeah, and, first and foremost, the capsules were created to protect the biology, to protect that life, the life that Jim was talking about. The city water can contaminate, but there's a lot of other contaminants that can have an effect on these bacteria and these fungi. And so even in the planter box, that's why those capsules were created, so they stay isolated, and so they stay more effective instead of dropping them into the bottom of the pail where there's talc and graphite. And the talc will have a real desiccating and drying effect because of the ratio of the talc to the graphite. And so we want to deploy the biology into that pail just when we're ready to go to the field and put it into then an active environment, dilutes that talc effect, and those spores, those bacteria and those fungi can come back into life. And the same thing we want to do with the liquid formulations. And we currently, like a residue release product that we've mentioned, we currently have a cache of bacteria that are in the actual solution itself. they're hardy and they've been sporulated. So they're basically dormant until, again, they come back to life in an active environment. But there are some new innovations in bacteria, especially in residue digesters, that are extremely aggressive on residue. You know, we talked about that decomposition. But they're delicate, they're fragile. They're not as hardy, and so we need to keep them separate instead of dropping them into the solution where they could become susceptible and the mortality rate goes through the roof. And you know what? If that bacteria isn't alive when we deliver it, it's just brown water. So we've incorporated, as you can see on the screen, this little capsule. It's about 5.5 inches tall, and it contains the liquid. It contains those bacteria and those fungi, protective. And you know, these are 2.5-gallon jugs. You just unscrew the cap, pull the seal off of it, drop this capsule into it, hit the plunger, mix it up into the 2.5, and you go right into your tank. So it's we think it's a great innovation. And again, one of the most inconsistencies of biologicals in the last 10 or 15 years is the fact that we have to deliver them alive.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because that's an expectation, isn't it? That's an expectation. So I'm just kind of curious here. Jim, have the results met your expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a lot of tests this year. So we had our tests at our Future Farm locations across those different states, but then we also had lots and lots of trials out, both replicated trials, but also trials on farmers' farms. And so we already talked about the 7.5 bushels an acre improvement in yield that we saw for grain using the Tune-Up Plus corn products. But then also, you know, we see a huge benefit to other uses of corn, like silage. You know, for example, with silage, we saw phenomenal results now for the second year in a row in using Tune-Up Plus corn on our corn for silage. And so you can see in this image here, that picture to the right on this image shows the same hybrid where the right side is not treated with Tune-Up Plus, and the left side, with all the additional green in the plant, is treated. And essentially what this caused is that extended stay green appearance that you get, which improves the chopping window. I mean, we all know that with silage choppers, the worst thing that can happen is that a custom chopper isn't able to get to your field in time because they got rained out, they get behind schedule, it's just difficult. And so having a wider chopping window will automatically improve your overall quality. And so as a result of this is we see dramatic improvements in quality, where we have better fiber digestibility, higher starch content, lower undigestible fiber content in that silage, which ultimately results in more milk per ton out of the silage, but also then more milk per acre, because we're seeing a significant increase in our dry matter yields and our wet green ton yields out of the silage. So it's a fantastic result that we've seen in this last 2 years on silage. And we've seen some other fun results too. I mean, we've seen with Tune-Up Plus corn, we've seen on high pH in the West, which is a significant issue in western Kansas, eastern Colorado, and a lot of the West. And we saw improvements in chlorosis, resulting in about a 14 bushel an acre improvement in yield. And that's just, you know, the gist of it. We've talked a lot about it results today, so it's been a fun result here to see.
Okay, Rob, you've been kind of quiet here, but we've only got about a minute left. But I want to look at the new innovations that are coming down the road for the 2025 planting season. What are you watching?
Well, we're going to put a robust testing program out again on Future Farm and across our 6 locations, and we're also going to utilize the Ag Visors to be an extension of that testing program for some of these new products. But I want to just put a little teaser out there about some things we're seeing that are really exciting. I mean, we have a new microbe we're going to test that's shown to be very effective with SDS in soybeans. Well, we have another one that looks like the next generation in terms of soybean cyst nematode performance. And I think really exciting, we're looking at a combination of a biofungicide with a synthetic fungicide that has shown really good results across a wide range of different leaf diseases, corn diseases, and in particular is shown to be very effective on tar spot. And so we're excited to get that out in the field and take a look at that. You know, I think most importantly, you know, what we're excited about is helping our customers. At the end of the day, if we can help them with the problems that they face, the agronomic problems, with solutions through seed and streamline seed-driven crop inputs, we improve their ROI, we improve their bottom line. We've done our job, and that's our objective, is to help our customers.
All right, before we go, how about some final thoughts? Start with you first, Todd.
Diligence. We farm, and we're very diligent and selective on what we do on our farms. We're extremely diligent and selective in what we put in our portfolio, how we will make those recommendations to the farm. And you know what? As a farmer, we expect you to be skeptical from all of your inputs. It's your livelihood. It's your family. So we expect that skepticism, and as we continue to say, it isn't good because we say it is. It's good when we prove it on your farm.
I love that. Jeff, final thought?
Agvisors. I think it's one of the most exciting things we've done here in the past 9 years, and it's going to raise the professionalism of our company, but most importantly, I think it's going to raise the service that we provide to our customers. It's going to improve the knowledge we provide to them, the training, the understanding of technology, guiding them down a path where they can be more profitable, have a better ROI, and understand what they need to do and how they need to spend their money on inputs is really critical. And we want that Agvisor to be that trusted local entrepreneur that believes in the community, believes in their customers, and they're going to deliver that value to the farmer ultimately.
Great. All right, Jim?
Yeah, to me, it's all about decisions. I mean, farmers have a lot of decisions to make when it comes to raising a crop and operating their operation. So it's our job, in order to help make those decisions easier, by bringing to market products that will make an impact on their farm for the solutions that we're trying to identify for them.
And final thoughts from the boss, Rob?
Well, obviously we're focused on our customers' ROI, their bottom line, their success. But I think how we do it is what's interesting. I mean, if you look at us, we're a seed company. We have great hybrid corn seed. We have great soybean seed, sorghum, alfalfa. But we also bring in the streamlined seed-driven crop inputs. And we have a deep understanding of both seed and streamlined products, and the ability to combine those to produce value for our customers better than anybody else. We're unique and different in that respect in the market today, and I think we can create a great deal of value for our customers with this knowledge that we have.
Great. Great way to wrap this up. Jeff, Rob, Jim, Todd, thank y'all for being here tonight. This is exciting, and so glad that Rob Seco has been here tonight. And thank you for joining us on Rural America Live. Good night from Rural America's most important network.